What's going on, everyone? Nick Falato with Big Blue View here to do a quick breakdown of some of Wink Martindale's pressure packages from the Giants' 25-22 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, someone needs to tell Wink Martindale that it's preseason because he's still dialing up the pressure, and we're about to go over some of my favorite plays from the film. Let's get to it. In preseason week 1, Wink Martindale blitzed more than any other defensive coordinator by a substantial amount, and that's no surprise. That is Wink Martindale's identity, his philosophy. Pressure breaks pipes, and we're going to see that throughout the entirety of his time here with the New York Giants, and I'm very excited about that. Martindale's not only just sending cover zero blitzes and just coming at the offensive protection packages with his hair on fire. He does that, but he also designs twists and these simulated type of pressures where there's only 4 pass rushers coming, but you don't know where the hell they're coming from. And a simulated pressure is essentially when a non-traditional pass rusher ends up rushing the passer, and then other players, typically on the opposite side of the formation, drop into coverage. Like you can see here with these 2 players who drop into underneath zones. You have Aaron Robinson as well kind of dropping down. Then you have man coverage across these 3 defenders. Oshane Ximines is keeping his eye on the running back. And the one thing that I love, and we're going to see this right here, is this safety. And we saw this a couple times on Sunday. This safety, who acts as a middle of the field closed safety, a deep safety, is actually in man coverage on this slot. Xavier McKinney had an interception against the Raiders in Patrick Graham's defense in a similar type of play last season. But let's watch and break this down as it goes. And you can see just how it is very hard for the offense, not just the protection package, but the quarterback, to diagnose exactly what the heck is going on. Watch this player as well. He replaces this safety, as you can see, right? And it's not even just man coverage. This player right here, see how he's pointing? He's making an undercall. And you can see how this player now looks that way. He knows that he has a responsibility coming across the field. So with this player making that undercall, he sits and he just stays in this area, anticipating the crossing routes from 81 and 18 right here. And now you have this player right here. What is he doing? He's waiting. Tay Crowder. He heard that undercall. So it's not just as simple as I have you in man coverage. There's a lot of rules, like any defense, there's rules built in to the coverage. But it didn't even matter because Khalil Dorsey got home for a sack here. And we'll break down what exactly happened there, because attacking the B gap is something that Wink Martindale did extensively with Baltimore, and we detailed it a lot at Big Blue View. No idea who's coming right here. You have Tay Crowder and Darian Beavers sugaring the A-gap. You have this 4-eye tech in Anderson, another 4-eye tech in Davidson right here with Oshane Ximines and Quincy Roche. So what happens? Player that's not even in the view, Khalil Dorsey. He's going to be coming. 24, like I said, Adams is going to drop and handle that responsibility until he makes that undercall. And then you're going to have, like we went over before, Tay Crowder and Darian Beavers abandoned. So at this point, the center and the guards have to pay attention to Crowder and Beavers, who are just right there sugaring that A-gap. And then they realize, okay, neither of them are coming. They're bailing. So you have to look at Ryder Anderson, who's slanting inside. It's going to occupy the attention of both the center and the guard, because the communication and the cohesiveness between these offensive linemen has to be so quick, because nobody knows who's coming on this blitz. And what's going to happen over here is you're going to have Quincy Roche take a high angle. And that's to open up the hips of that tackle and remove him from the B gap so this blitzing defensive back can shoot into the B gap. And this guard, how is he supposed to know that's going to come unless this tackle quickly communicates it? It's very, very difficult for the protection to be on the same page here, because this guard has to pay attention to Ryder Anderson, because he's not 100% sure if Tay Crowder or Darian Beavers are coming. So it's a lot of quick decisions, a lot of communication that is required from an offensive line to block this up. This is a 4-man pressure. 2 guys get in. And you can see Dorsey goes in untouched to get this sack right here. And watch the quarterback. The quarterback wants to throw this football right here. He sees Oshane Ximines coming down. He sees Aaron Robinson, which you can't see on the screen, just kind of squatting right there. So he has no idea where to go with the football. Turns this way, has a safety bailing this way, a bunch of underneath defenders. He just eats the sack. So you love that type of play call right there from Wink Martindale. And it wasn't the only time that he utilized that play call, as you'll see here. Now, I didn't draw the illustration here, but maybe you can break down what exactly happens. Look, where are the 2 receivers? Where is that reduced set receiver, that slot receiver, that number 2 receiver? Right here. So who do you think's coming on that blitz? Right here. Who do you think's dropping off into coverage out of all of these players? We just watched a play that was a similar play, but we still don't know exactly who was dropping off. Same goes for the offense. Let's roll it. Here, You have 4 players. 1, 2, 3, 4 drop off, right? Same. So you're only rushing these 4. And this time, Dorsey kind of starts high, and then he allows the defensive end, I think that's Taman Fox, to get into that outside shoulder, goes through the B gap, attack the B gap, big philosophy for Wink Martindale. But the running back does a great job picking it up. Fox gets home, gets a hit on the quarterback, and it's incomplete. Safety, what is he doing? Going right down on that slot receiver. Now, it's on this quarterback, and good quarterbacks are going to realize this, and they're going to pick up on this. So you have to keep that in mind. But good quarterbacks are going to realize that number 2 receiver is open whenever this blitz is called out. Someone's going to communicate it back, and he's going to throw hot. So there's a lot of space. But you can see how he drops down right there? Now you have all of these underneath defenders, though. If anybody crosses the middle of the field, they're going to match that, okay? They're going to match that. The quarterback just can't process it fast enough because it's Brendan Allen. So you have to keep that in mind. Here is the end zone copy of that. Because if you're an offensive protection pack, and you can see it, man, running back's looking in this direction. You have a real threat right here. You have 2 threats in the A gap. So you are thinking about sliding your protection in that direction. But you know someone's going to come from this side. And you can see what happens. Eyes. Everyone's looking this way. And you have a 3 versus 2 until the running back, who does an excellent job flashing his eyes in this direction, gets over there to fill the B gap. But still, incomplete pass because Taman Fox gets home. And I kind of want to look at that real quick, see how he won around the edge, if you guys don't mind. So again, his job is to expand the tackle away to open up an alley for 31. Everybody works together in football. Everyone works together. It's the ultimate team sport. But Fox still wins up the pass rushing arc right there. Reduces that surface area, right? Kind of makes a little bit of contact there, and then he just dips that inside shoulder and bends. And look, tackles late with his punch. Taman Fox beats him up the pass rushing arc, and then uses his back of his shoulder to kind of dip through, lands the rip move right here, bends through the contact, and beats the tackle. Love to see that. Here we're going to see an overload pressure from the New York Giants. We're going to overload the right side of the line of scrimmage to get a free rusher from the defensive back right there. Aaron Robinson hand fights with this wide receiver and ultimately wins, forcing an incompletion in this 3rd and 8 situation. So we can see right here, we're going to have man coverage right here, and then you're going to drop both of these players off the line of scrimmage to kind of look at 81 right here, with the safety also keeping his eyes on him, as you could see here, matching him basically in man with both of these defenders underneath to just remove any of these inside crossing routes. And that creates the one-on-one on the backside with Aaron Robinson. Ultimately wins. He should win in that situation. It's at number 2. But let's watch what happens with the overload blitz here. Like I said, both of these players are going to drop off into coverage, and you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players coming on this blitz. And I love the way the Giants get Andrew Adams unblocked here. Now, you'll see. Look at the path of everybody. This is common in football. This isn't just exclusive to Wink Martindale's defense. But O'Shane Ximenez is tasked to go through the inside shoulder of this tackle. Inside. Why are they doing that? The Giants are doing that to just create this free rusher right here. Now, it could be on 25 to step out and block him, but 25 is also looking at Darian Beavers, and he's looking at the A gap because he thinks 91 or 95 could be coming on that blitz, or on that pressure package, I should say. And if they did, then these offensive linemen would all be occupied, and that's a direct path to the quarterback. So he has to take Darian Beavers out of the play. So no one's accounting for 24 since O'Shane Ximenez is going to occupy this tackle. Who the heck is going to get 24? This is a way you dial up free rushers in the NFL right there. And you can see he did it. And good on Brendan Allen to release the football and throw a very catchable football to this wide receiver. But we're going to see so much of this during the season. We're going to see so much of guys who look like they're coming on the blitz drop into coverage. And also look at their initial path. It's not like 91's just bailing. He takes one step forward right there. And look, vision on him, has to occupy him. He ends up getting wasted anyways. This tackle is just going to go and help out Tay Crowder. So you basically have 2 guys on Tay Crowder. Tay Crowder's not going to have an impact on this play. You're just wasting blockers. You have 2 here, and then each of these guys are taking one with no one on Andrew Adams because the Bengals do not know if Jalen Holmes or Quincy Roche are coming on the pressure. Here's a 2nd and 15 well-executed screen by the Cincinnati Bengals. And one reason why the Giants get pressure here is because it's a screen pass. But I want to go over what Wink Martindale does specifically with the right side of the line of scrimmage, because it's something he did so much at Baltimore. But let's watch the play first. Love how Dexter Lawrence dropping into coverage, showing that athletic ability. Don't mind the pressure. It's a screen. Love the play by Darnay Holmes to work back off the screen and make this tackle. But you can see Dexter Lawrence is in a 2-point stance, and then you have Tay Crowder standing up. You have a 5 technique right here with O'Shane Ximenez. You have a 4 technique right here with Jalen Holmes. And then you have Kayvon Thibodeaux wide. And what the Giants do, and they do this often, at least Wink Martindale did it often as the defensive coordinator with the Ravens in high-pressure type of situations and 3rd and long, 2nd and long situations, is, like I said before, you expand the end man on the line of scrimmage up the arc to get that tackle out of there, and then you bring pressure through the B gap. But watch how Tay Crowder comes here. Drops like he's dropping into coverage, turns his shoulders, little fake, and then he goes around Jalen Holmes. Now, this is something common. Works around, and that B gap's wide open right there. And the Giants also added the wrinkle by bringing the defensive back from that same side, Darnay Holmes, who ends up making the tackle. This is 2 guys going into the B gap. There are times where it's just that defensive back, that apex defender, and there are times when it is just the linebacker who is on the line of scrimmage. He allows this player to slant inside with Kayvon Thibodeaux going wide, and then what happens? Wide open B gap for him just to kind of take 1 step back like he's dropping into coverage so the protection doesn't pay attention to him, and then come right in. That's what he does here, along with Darnay Holmes. The Giants really dialed up the pressure, but it was a screen. It was caught. Minimal game. Giants rally. Darnay Holmes makes the tackle. All right, now here's a play where the New York Giants kind of get beat. We talk a lot about man beaters. We know Wink Martindale's philosophy is to run man coverage, press man coverage. And this is a 4th and 1 play that was originally ruled incomplete. And it was a beautiful catch by Trent Taylor right here, the number 2 receiver. And Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati Bengals offense run a really good man beater here. And you can see what happens. So you have the pressure dialed up. And why this is a man beater is because there's a natural rub, pick route, whatever you want to call it, to free up the number 2 receiver. The number 1 receiver, the outside receiver, is just going to basically run a little stop right here just to get in the way of this cornerback. And you can see how Trent Taylor delays his release. That's by design. He delays his release, just kind of fires his feet just a little bit. Darnay Holmes is in a position where he's going to try and work underneath this pick route, but it's difficult to do so. And I guess you could say that the number 1 receiver did enough to not get flagged here, but I've seen worse things called here. But this is just a pick. Now, there are defenses that run banjo coverage on this, and banjo coverage, essentially, it's more common in stacked type of situations, not as common when the guys are spread apart like this, is these 2 players would switch their assignments here. But that doesn't happen. Darnay Holmes tries to work underneath it. We've seen cornerbacks in the past work over the top of it and gives initial space, but then it allows him to close with. But you can see how Trent Taylor is able to create that separation because that little bit of contact right there gives Taylor space. And we're going to see this a lot during the season. We're going to see the New York Giants get beat in these similar types of situations. 2-man route concept where the outside receiver is basically creating a pick for the inside receiver to explode outside the numbers and just run to the sidelines. And that's a beautiful catch by Trent Taylor. So expect to see stuff similar to this in the regular season. And then at the bottom of the screen, we just have a simple slant flat. Can't really kill Darnay Holmes here, you know. It's tough. I'm not even sure if it was communicated to him that this was going to be a pick, but he tries to work underneath it and fails. It's going to happen in this defense when you run so much man coverage. And there are just a few plays from Wink Martindale's defense against the Cincinnati Bengals where the New York Giants were able to apply pressure in a variety of different ways. Look, we're going to be here at Big Blue View breaking down Wink Martindale's exotic pressure packages all season. Let's hope Kayvon Thibodeaux can get healthy, get back out there after we had that scare on Sunday night. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please head on over to bigblueview.com for all of our written content and then download our podcast, Big Blue View Radio. Just go look it up wherever you get podcasts. Take care of each other. I'm Nick Filato, signing off for Big Blue View.